Hey, good evening, folks, and welcome to the night show of Let's Go Fishing. As you can see, I've got my guest here, Mike's with me. And Mike, good to have you.
Good to be here.
Is it Mike, no catch fish?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I just wanted to clarify that before we get too far into the show. But Mike and I are having a tough time getting film for the show, folks. I'm telling you, we really are. But anyway, we have a good time trying, don't we, Mike?
I sure do. Sure do.
Yes, sir. We've been to 2 different lakes and 3 trips since we talked last week, and I bet you we hadn't got enough grease to skip.
No, not much.
No, we sure hadn't. So, but we hope that's going to change here in the next day or so. So we're going to keep plugging. That's a good thing about fishing. You can always keep trying.
That's for sure.
Can't catch them at home and on the couch, Mike.
That's right. It's enjoyable just to be out there.
It really is. We saw a lot of wildlife in the last few days, and anyway, deer swimming the lake, and the loons are diving for minnows, and the gulls and the deer running the banks, and a little bit of everything.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
All right. Right quick, Mike, I want to say hello to Dad and Polly and Bill, and want to wish my grandson Wesley a happy birthday. Let's see, today's the 10th. Yeah, I think his birthday will be Sunday, Mike. Mm-hmm. And I want to wish Wesley a happy birthday. He may be watching tonight. I told him he better get on his computer there and stream us live. They don't have cable. They've got the dish. But at least he can come down to my house Saturday evening and watch the rerun with his mama. Mm. Wesley, happy birthday, son. Papa's really proud of you, bud. And you folks got any good fishing tips or anything tonight, please call in. Let us know what's going on for sure. I'll tell you what, Mike, all I've heard about is the film that was showed last week.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it, but I've had a lot of people, well, I say a lot, I've had several people that did see it call me and say, man, that was, and my wife is still laughing.
Yeah.
And so, Mike, I didn't know you was that funny. I didn't know you was that big a comedian.
I didn't either.
Anyway, we're so short of fishing film tonight. I've talked to Herschel, and we may show a little of that tonight. I'd like to see it myself. I don't know what happened or nothing like that. You know, we're kind of in the dark here. We can hear it on the TV out in the hallway, but as far as anything here where we're filming at, all we can do is see our picture, and that's it.
Yes.
So, we may get Herschel to show some of that here directly and see what's going on with that. It was, okay, he just chimed in and said it was Herschel's fault. We thought when the show ended last week, Herschel said, "What'd y'all do to the camera?" And then he came in here while it was showing and said, then he went back and he come back at the end of the show and told us that I said, "It's my fault. I thought it was yours." I said, "Well, I'm glad to hear that, because we don't know what to do to that camera to speed it up or slow it down."
No.
And he does. So I'm glad it was on him and not us, Mike. But anyway, he done it. It's had a lot of reviews. I'll put it that way. Everybody's liked it. So we may show a little bit of that. We call it the blooper film.
Yeah.
Oh, Lordy. Let's see. Well, I've got a picture. I will show it later. My Uncle George out at Dale Hollow, he's got 2 big smallmouth holding up. He's been live bait fishing out there last couple of weeks, and have a good day one day and a bad day the next. But we'll get into that later on when we show that picture up and that kind of thing. But anyway, let's see, Mike. What else we got to discuss here? What did you bring us, Mike, to talk about?
Well, I was going to talk little bit about these baits and types of weed guards and the way to rig them up weedless.
Right.
Just like the old Texas rig, some people, depending on how hard your plastic is, on which way you want to rig it, and some people just skin hook it in the bottom. If you're not fishing real heavy structure down in a big brush pile or something, flipping or something, you might want to just skin hook it on the bottom to give you more protection. If you're not doing that, you can just back it up and run your hook plumb through it, and then just barely skin hook it on top.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't got as much there, but it's still weedless. I wouldn't recommend that to be a flipping like that, because more than likely you'd hang it up. It don't take much to bump it loose.
I agree with that, Mike.
And,
hey, folks, you're getting this from an expert. He stay.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna tell him how much you stay hung up, Mike. But go ahead.
If you're using a swim bait, I like this and here the best, because it's got a screw-in piece that you put down into the nose of the bait, and you got your weight on the bottom, and these come in all different size weights there. And like I say, go through. It's hollow-bellied, cut open in the middle, and run the hook all the way through, and then come back and skin hook it on top, and it's pretty much weedless.
Yeah, that looks good, Mike. You've got that rigged up nice.
Yeah, it works real good.
You need to start
like
fishing that more.
Yeah, I know it. When you get into jigs, the weed guards on them, depending on how heavy the head is and what type of cover you're going to be fishing. If you're flipping in brush and heavy cover and rocks and stuff, and using a heavy head like this football jig, you'd probably want a lot of weed guard, real stiff.
Agree with that.
To beat you off, not get hung up as much on that. As you get lighter, some people like the wide guards. I like the wide guard pretty good, but they come in different strength right there on how stiff they are on bending down. Some of them's real limber, and some of them's stiffen up and hold it out. You can flip pretty good with it.
Right.
And like I say, you get down to that's about a half ounce or head on that, and here's a half ounce. And we've cut the weed guard down on this one because it was so dang stiff. It's a brush guard, but we've cut it down to about half of what it is, and it's still pretty dang stiff. Now, I wouldn't, for no more weight than it is, you could flip with it or cast with it, whichever one you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And like I say, you get on down to a 3/8, you can thin this and on down, or flip it in heavy structure, just whichever one you want to do. And as you get lighter, it's 1/4 ounce, it ain't got much weed guard in it at all, just 4 or 5 little old strands, and that's about all you need. It comes through the brush pretty good if you want to flip something that small, and it fishes good out there 30, 40 foot deep, you want to throw it out there like that. Now here's something new that they've come up with. I got a whole pack of them here, little old clear plastic like a worm, and you can either thread it up on the hook and then lay it back and cover the point of your hook and put your bait in behind it, and that makes it weedless.
Mm-hmm.
You could put it over the eye if you wanted to and run it back over the hook, or you can run your line through it and put it through there. Here's one right out of the pack right there. It's got a little old flat spot with a hole in it there, so you can run your line through that and put it down next to your eye and then stick it over your point. And it pretty much makes it weedless when you start getting down into the brush piles. But now we've got on straight lining, like we're doing for the crappie, you've got a regular hook, and as you can see, that regular hook comes right down, it hangs.
Right.
That's the reason I like to take and straighten it a little bit and then go to working my way back and make it into a circle hook. Where that point turns in and it don't hang. Now, you catch them little bitty limbs stuff, but you can bounce it loose from them, but all your bigger limbs and stuff, it just eases off of them.
Yeah.
You can work it up and down in that brush and it don't hang near as much, and still seems to catch the fish just as good.
Yeah. Well, Mike, that looks good. The only thing I want to tell you to do, I want you to start using some of them weed guards on them crappie hooks, and so you won't stay hung up so much. And then I want you to get.
Well, that's the circle hook.
I know that. I see that.
Yeah,
got
you could use that on there.
Well, why couldn't we use that? Why ain't we using it?
Well,
I mean, that's all we're doing is running around all over the lake looking for a brush pile or treetop out there in 20, 25, 30 foot of water and dropping straight down in it, and then we hang up occasionally.
Yeah, you sure could. Just run your line through there and put it right over if you want to.
Yeah.
Things work pretty good. I picked them up over at Jim's.
Yeah, they look like they work pretty good. I wish you'd have got me a pack when you bought them. But
I can't tell you all my secrets.
I'll tell you what I want to do. I want you to sit down there at the house and in front of the camera and re-go over that right there, and let me get it filmed up real close so the viewers can see exactly what you're talking about. Not that they're not seeing it or getting it right now, but you've got a very good point. And a lot of these jigs, I mean, you go buy a football jig, and the weed guard in that thing, it's a casting jig. It's got a little weed guard in it, but it's not really heavy enough to flip with. It won't, and the way you want to do that, if the weight of the bait mashes the weed guard past the tip of the hook, then you're going to have a lot of trouble flipping heavy cover with it.
You sure will.
It won't, you've got to, that weed guard has got to support the weight of the bait coming up over a limb, and you'd be surprised. I've caught a lot of fish pulling that jig up, and when it thumps that limb, just drop it right back, and he's got it. He can't stand something pecking on that limb. I guarantee you, they can't stand that. It just doesn't work. They come to investigate. It's like a rattler on a rattle trap, Mike. It's got an attractability to it. When you hear that sinker thump that wood, get ready. Something's fixing to happen.
Something's fixing to happen.
Yeah. So that's a good point, Mike. I'm glad you took time to gather all that up, because we sure didn't catch enough fish to have a show with.
Yep.
All right. Anyway, and the circle hook thing, what you're talking about, I want you to draw that up, but is the point of the hook is not facing straight towards the eye of the hook. It's rolled down a little bit, and it does want to slip by them bigger limbs.
Yeah, you can drag it right down your hand, and it won't even hang in it. But you take a regular hook and you try to drag it, it's the first thing it does, it digs in. Yeah,
because that little point is usually turned out or turned flat on sticking straight out. That's a good idea. It's a good hook, and you do a good job of bending them up, Mike. You really do. Because like he said, we're picking that crappie rig up and over them limbs and setting it right back. Just the minute you feel the sinker come over, you just drop it right back.
Yep.
And right down in between another one or whatever, and usually when it's dropping back, that's when you get a bite.
Yeah, or if you pull it up and your limb's 2 or 3 foot off the bottom, and you bump it and then pull it up and just hold it right there just a little bit, and them crappie, they stack up like that in that brush, and
right.
Jump on it. Sometimes you may be 3 or 4 foot, maybe 6 or 8 foot off the bottom before you get to the limbs up there that the crappie's in.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you, Mike. You very good. That's exactly right. You're going to have to get you an aquarium over here and put you a brush pile in it and practice jigging up and down between them limbs without hanging.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Herschel. Folks, we got a little bit of crappie film we're going to show you, and then we'll come back and talk about that. All right, folks. Mike and I are down here at Blue Springs. We're crappie fishing, and get a shot of I think Mike's done had a bite or missed one there or something, so we're going to see what happens here. Water temperature 53 degrees. And it's Let's Go Fishing. Remember the sponsors, folks. We're going to try to get some crappie here and see what happens. Our Mike's got his first catfish already. Yeah, I don't believe that'll work, Mike. That ain't what we're looking for.
There's plenty of them in here.
Yeah, sure is. Hurry up, Mike, get you another one. Right quick, get you another bite there. All right, Mike's got her first big crappie on right there, Mike.
Yeah.
Attaboy.
Nice.
Yeah, he's a nice one. You want to get him upside down? Do like Brad?
Yeah, I do.
Film
like
him
Brad,
upside down?
Get him upside down.
Okay, I got him upside down.
Me too.
You too.
Yeah.
All right, here we go, Mike.
Yeah. 28 foot.
28 feet. All righty. All right, Mike got another big crappie there. Attaboy, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're just about fishing on credit.
Yeah. That's for sure. Circle hook's a little bit hard to get out, but it don't hang up near as much.
Yeah. All right, the circle hook's paying off. All right, Mike's got another big crappie there.
Yeah.
Attaboy, Mike.
Like them minnows.
Yeah, they like them minnows, he said. Okay, Mike, just keep getting them, bud. You're doing good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike's hooked a little old bass there that time.
He sure didn't get a hold of it real hard. He just barely did get a hold of it.
Yeah.
Good to know they're there.
Oh, yeah.
If we get a big one. I got one about 5 pounds here a few years ago.
All right, Mike's got another big crappie on there, buddy. Had him hung up in the brush pile there for just a minute. Done good, Mike.
Yeah.
That's a dandy.
It's a dandy, too.
Yeah, boy. All right. Yeah.
Check him, see if he's big enough.
Okay, Mike, I'll do the checking there. You just keep fishing. Well, Mike's got another one of them wrong species again.
Yeah.
He thought it was a crappie to start with, so started circling and then realized what it was. So we'll cut the camera off and they call that a blooper, Herschel. All right, folks. So Mike's got one of the prettiest fish in the water, I think, a ring perch on here. Catch a few of them down here occasionally. And what about it, Mike? Yeah, buddy. Sure is pretty, isn't he?
Yes, sure is. He's in between a walleye and a dang bluegill, I believe.
Yeah. All right. Well, he's pretty. Got them orange fins there, man. That's all right, Mike.
Kind of like a sauger or something on them stripes on him, and
Yeah.
gold colored and everything. Long, slender like a walleye and sauger. Yeah, he's in the perch family, that's for sure.
All right, Mike. Good deal. Now let's get a crappie. Got 3 deer there on the bank, folks. Yeah, there's another good crappie, folks. Nice one, Mike.
Yeah.
All right, get another.
Good.
Get you another.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Mike's got another one of them wrong species again.
Yeah. Herschel will be proud of me.
Yeah, Herschel will be proud of him, all right. All right, we're back at it again. All right, folks, our Mike's got another crappie there. I'm going to put him in the box and we'll see what happens. It's getting late, we're going to have to go. All right, Mike, we're back, and you know, one thing we didn't get on film there, Mike, I wanted to mention there a second ago. Right at the last, Mike was hung up in the treetop. This is what we was talking about, being hung up, and he had a hound dog, you know, a lure retriever on a rope, and he was trying to get down in there and get his bait loose. Well, I was over on the other side of the boat, and I said, "You need my help?" And he said, "No." And I said, "Okay." So I just kept fishing. Well, I caught 2 big crappie out of that treetop that we didn't get filmed while he was hung up on the other side of the boat.
Yeah.
And you know, I would have really thought, you drop a, what, 10 ounce of lead?
No, more than that.
I mean, 6 ounces or 10 ounces of lead down in a tree, and you're just thumping and beating around, and you know, normally you've spooked them out.
You'd think you would have.
Yeah, and I sat right there and caught 2 big crappie at the width of the boat, which might be 7 foot, 6 foot, right there on the other side of the brush pile.
Yep.
And so I said, "Mike, just stay hung up. I'll keep fishing."
Yeah.
So, you know, that was an odd thing to me. You know, usually when you get in a tree and go to beating and banging around with plug knockers and lure retrievers and hanging up and moving limbs and shaking stuff, they usually, you know, that's kind of the end of that pile.
Spooks them off.
Spooks them off. But for some reason, they stayed right there within 7 foot, 6 foot of where he was hung up at, him beating and banging in that treetop, and I caught 2 big crappie right there that we didn't get on film that I put in the live well. So that was a learning, you know, that was something normally, in other words, my years of fishing, when you hung up, you get it loose, go on to the next one because you've done spooked them out. But that was a first for me doing that. It really was. Mike, what about the details of Watts Bar right now? What's going on down there?
Well, it seemed like, to start off with, we started, about 14 foot there on top of that hump, and fished all around there and caught the catfish, and then eased off the sides of it there, fishing around and getting a little deeper and working some different brush piles and stuff, and then we eased on out of the holler a little bit and got in another brush pile out there that was a little deeper, and I'd say 27, 28 foot, we started catching them.
Yeah.
And we done pretty good out of some brush piles there, and started on out of the holler, and then didn't seem to be doing as good, and went across the lake, fished some places over there, and went on down the lake, and everything next to the mouth of the hollers and on the main channel, we couldn't get a bite. And
I agree.
We come back and got in the holler a little bit, which I think the water was a little clearer back in the hollers, and it seemed like that a little bit stained water was more out on the channel and in the mouth of the hollers, and I don't know, them crappie just, I believe they was there, but they just didn't want to hit.
I think there was too, Mike. A lot of fish on the depth finder not to get a bite. Let's get this caller, and we'll come back to you in just a minute. Hello, caller.
Yeah, this is D.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
D.L. Lamprey.
Yeah, right. Yeah, okay.
I was going to say that only thing Uncle Mike needed
right
was that big red nose and the floppy red shoes.
I agree, man. How's it been going? Did you have a good Thanksgiving?
I don't know about the gobbler, but I done my best.
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say that last fish you caught, they're called yellow perch.
Oh, well, we call them a ring perch for years, and I guess that's true. I should have looked at the book, but they are a pretty fish, and they're not very big in this area.
Well, the record, Tennessee record is just 2 pounds.
Yeah, yeah. We used to
But
catch.
they are good eating.
I've never ate them. We've always released them because they were so small.
Well, like you say, they are part of the walleye and sauger family. They are a perch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you call it a yellow perch and not a ring perch.
Well, that's what the
Book calls
main name is a yellow perch.
it. Uh-huh.
It's just sort of like Uncle Mike is called Uncle Mike.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
you. Well, you know, they are pretty. They really are.
Yeah, especially the bigger ones,
Yes, sir. Yeah.
which aren't very big.
Right.
But I was going to say, you know, last week you talked about people leaving their drags too tight.
Right.
Right. Well, they also, you know, you got these hayseeds that drive around with the rod and reel in the back of their pickup window
Mm-hmm.
and leave them in the heat all day and everything.
Yes, sir.
They don't know that it creates kinks and it deteriorates the line.
Yes, sir. It sure does.
Yeah.
That sunlight's bad on it, ain't it?
Yeah.
Well, you know, I'm glad you mentioned that, and that tells me you watched the show last week by me saying that, and let me ask you something about that, and you give me an answer. I see a lot of tournament fishermen, a lot of fishermen put their rod and reels up on the front of the boat, and they'll have 3 or 4 on one side, 3 or 4 on the other, and they're sitting out there in the yard, in the parking lot, at home, you know, a lot of times with those reels up on the deck. Now, you know that line, just what you just said, gets that sun, it's the ultraviolet rays deteriorates.
Right. I mean, it's like anything in plastic.
Right.
You leave it out in the sun long enough, it will deteriorate.
Yes, sir. You're right there.
Another thing was, I was going to say, if you, these, like Uncle Mark or Uncle Mikey there,
Mm-hmm.
you can make another, you can make a hook where it will be, what am I trying to think of here?
Hangless is what I hope you are.
Yeah, hookless, or, you know.
Yeah.
You can also take, if you can find you some feathers, bird feathers, and split them
Right.
and tie them onto the hook will make them hookless.
Mm-hmm. I just want Mike to have something that he ain't hanging up with.
Well, he's already hung up with you, so what can you say?
I blame a lot on Mike, you know, but, you know, I hang a little bit occasionally myself, but when we're fishing the way he's crappie fishing, you know, you're going to hang up. It's just, it's there, you know. You don't drop 2 hooks down in a briar patch and expect it not to hook something. And
Well, you know, I learned a long time ago that it's all in the way you hook your minnow.
Yeah.
Does Uncle Mike ever hook them through the eyes or the mouth?
He's hooked them every which way in the world, and I have too. What about it, Mike? What do you like the best?
Most of the time, just eyeball to eyeball.
Eyeball to eyeball. All right. What about that
Well,
now?
Yeah, what I've learned is, like one guy asked me a long time ago, says, how can you cast into that tree and not get hung up? And I never did tell him. But what I do, I hook mine just behind the dorsal fin. That way they swim up and not around.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a good point. I've hooked them back there behind the dorsal fin. I've hooked them through the eye. I personally like to hook them through the bottom lip and up through the nose, you know, because they're laying straight and your hook is pointed up and that kind of thing. So, but that's just me. Everybody's got their own preference, but You know, honestly, I'd rather catch them on plastic as fool with the minnows myself.
Well, yeah, or throw.
Yeah.
With plugs.
Right.
Grubs.
Yeah, cast a grub, or they've got these little old minnows nowadays. Man, I'm telling you what, it's they're just lifelike. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty.
They look good.
If nothing else, they hooked you.
Yeah, they sure have. I'd rather handle them 10-1. I can catch a dozen on one of them and can't get but one on a minnow.
Well, it's sort of like them waterproof minnows down there at Uncle Jim's at Edgemore sales, you know.
Right, yeah.
You know, they are nice and they are pretty.
Right.
Oh, I was going to also tell you.
Okay.
That I finally collected enough aluminum cans to buy me some barbecued beef down at Secret City.
Yeah.
What's the?
Secret City Pies?
Yes.
Yeah. All right,
And
that's good.
And it was delicious.
Perfect, man. I'm glad to hear it. Those good, nice, good people over there at that place, and they can cook.
Yeah. Yes, and I was going to say that anytime Uncle Jim needs a shiner, just go see Aunt Jean.
All right.
Down at Edgemore. She'll give him one for free.
Hey, man. Well, it's good to hear from you. I believe your quarter's about up.
Well, I'm almost in timeout, so I'm getting by with it.
Almost time out. Okay, so I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. Make sure you holler back at us next week.
All right, now, toodaloo.
All right, we appreciate you.
And give Mr. Bobblehead a hug there.
All right, I'll do it, man. Appreciate you, bud. All right.
Like that girl down there when we got them minnows there today, and I asked her if there was a guarantee coming, them things, if I could bring them back if we didn't get fish.
Yeah, that's exactly right, man. Sure is. It's good to hear from him. He's always got something good to say, and he's got some good tips there, Mike. He sure did. They brought out a good point about how to hook your minnows and this, that, and the other, and so, you know, if I can get them in my hand and hold to them long enough, I'm going to hook them through the eye, or I'd like to hook them through the bottom lip, you know.
If you're using a split shot and a loose line below it, say 6-8 inches, and it can swim around, it probably make a difference on that. But if you're straight line like we are with a half or a 3/4 ounce sinker, they can't move, they can't swim.
No.
So, you know, it's just
the
only action they really got is what little bit you bob it up and down or something, you know.
Right.
Moving it around, so they ain't going to swim into anything. What I'm looking for is a way to keep it on the dang hook to keep the fish from throwing it off every time.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mike. And I'll tell Lamprey there, man, we had some bluegill today that just take a big minnow and head swallow it.
Yeah,
I mean,
damn.
You know, so I'm like Mike. We got to figure out how to keep that minnow on the hook till we can get it in front of a good fish instead of the bluegill eating them all up, you know, that kind of thing.
Several times you come back and there ain't nothing but the head left.
Yeah, bite him off behind the gills and leave the head on the hook and just, you know, everything in the world, you see everything. But, Mike, I'm going to get back to what you mentioned about the muddy water.
Yeah.
You know, we've been catching, and you have, a couple of months now. You started crappie fishing a little early this year normally, but you caught a lot of fish. Or I say you've caught a lot of fish. In the past, you've caught a lot of fish out there on the channel. And the later it gets, the colder that water gets, farther out on the channel they're going to get.
Yes.
But we fished channel banks today and never got a fish.
No.
And you brought out the point about the water clarity. Now, I'll get back into that.
Well, that's, I've had that problem before in years past. That when that muddy water's coming down through there and they're really pulling it, them fish just don't seem to want to hit out there on that channel. It starts clearing up and settling down, and you start picking them fish back up out there. I think they just can't see the bait unless you just knock them in the head with it or something,
Mm-hmm.
When you're fishing that deep, the light factor, you ain't got none, and then you add muddy water to it, that makes it even worse,
Yeah.
The only ones that really does any good out there is the catfish.
Yeah.
And I think their sense of smell is must be a whole lot better than the crappie and stuff, because it don't seem to be what color the dang water is to a catfish. They seem to find that manner pretty good.
Yeah, I agree with that. You caught a few today. I'll grant you that. Let's get this call right here. Hey, hello, caller.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, Ed, how are you, man?
Good. How y'all doing?
Buddy, we're doing good if you are.
Well, I was going to tell you, one time on Norris, I caught a great old big warmouth.
Right?
You ever caught one of them?
Yes, sir. Caught several of them.
They're good eating, too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what, Ed? We just fussed because they bit us, and a lot of times they're biting and you can't hook them, and we just get mad about it. When we catch one, we throw them back in.
Yeah. Anyway, I was going to eat this one, and I brought it home. I bet he weighed 2 pounds, over 2 pounds. It was a huge thing.
Yeah.
I caught him on a lizard.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, I was sitting there eating that sandwich, and I went and got my book, and the record is 1 pound, 12 ounces. I bet that was a record big.
Oh, man, Ed. Daggone it. You know what? That's we need to refer to that book occasionally and keep ourselves refreshed, because you never know,
Yeah.
what you liable to get.
Hey, you talking about them pretty fish?
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you've ever seen them, but in Melton Hill one time I caught a catfish. It was cream colored and had brown and black spots on it. And the guy down there told me it was an Appaloosa catfish.
Huh. Well.
It was a pretty thing.
Yeah. Now we got these cameras on these phones, Ed. We need to get pictures of that stuff.
Yeah. Well, anyway, y'all have a good Christmas, and I'll talk to you later.
All right, Ed. You too, man. I appreciate you, Ed. And
Okay.
we're looking for muddy water on North.
Yeah.
See you later, Ed.
Okay.
All right, buddy. Okay. Now, Mike, what was it you wanted to add about the muddy water?
Well, as these creeks clear up, I think the fishing's going to get better. I don't know if they're going to shallow back up any after we had that lake fill back up so quick,
Mm-hmm.
But there, right before all that heavy rain, we was catching them 4 foot deep up there.
Right.
And then, wham, all of a sudden it changed everything. So it'll just take it a while to settle down. And I think by next week you ought to start picking up a lot more crappie.
Yeah, I believe you're right, Mike. I do definitely believe the muddy water has an effect on the bite for the crappie. There's no doubt about it. Okay, Herschel, listen. Can you show us the I want to show the East Tennessee Parade film and that little bit of Watts Bar film. Can you do that? All right, do her, bud. Hey, folks, I'm here at Kingston High School and got the East Tennessee Sportsman Association group here, and they're trying to get the boat and the truck ready, and man, things are looking great. I'll show you this. You see the little Christmas tree up on the front, and they're putting the banners on the sides of the boat, trying to get Santa Claus blowed up in the back of the boat. So they're doing good, and it's going to be a big thing. We want, that comes back to that getting joined up with this East Tennessee Sportsman Association. Man, I tell you, it's a good thing. You can see the nice banner they got there, all that good stuff, and these folks are working hard to get everything ready and get in line so they can go through the parade here at Kingston. So I want to say congratulations to all of them, and they're working hard to get things going here. So wanted to get this thing, I'm going to give a minute here and let them get Frosty the Snowman and all blowed up and aired up, and man's looking good, looking good. I'll get back with you in just a minute. Okay, they've got the snowmen blowed up, the snow women, and man, you know, they've came up with a real whiz on how to make their 110 fan run, so I'll give them credit for that. They've done really well. Willie went and got a converter and put it on his boat batteries and powering his blower for the blow-ups, and man, looking good. Just adding the finishing touches on the boat here. Merry Christmas and all that, so they're doing great. Hey folks, they've got things decorated up here now, and looking good, looking good. Almost ready to roll here. All right, folks, there they are. That's the East Tennessee Sportsman's Association parade entry, and they've got her all lit up. It looks really good. They've done a good job on getting things. Got a Christmas tree and tinsel on the side and the snowmen. They've done a great job, and appreciate them, and we'll see y'all Thursday night. Now tell me that again, Eric.
2 L's on the shelf.
2 L's on the shelf, folks. That's Mike and Eric Trail, and supporting the East Tennessee Sportsman's Association, and we appreciate you guys, buddy.
Thank you, buddy.
All right, see you later.
Okay.
What do you say, Mike?
Looks like you got you a little in there.
Yeah. We're just getting started, Mike. We'll just see what's going on, folks. We're down here on Watch Bar and trying to get some film for the show, and just getting started. Got a little fish here on the rattle trap, so we'll see what happens. Remember the sponsors, and let's go fishing.
All right, hold on.
What do you think now, Mike?
I don't know. Not sure I got it on.
Huh?
Got a red thing up on the screen. I guess that's on.
All right, Mike. That ain't near as good as that other one that I just missed, but we'll take it.
All right. Yeah, there you go. Steve found him another little in there. Got that on a jig.
Yeah, Mike, he's not very big, but he hit it good.
I heard that.
All right, Mike. Back in the water.
Take the water too.
All right, Mike, we're back, and we had that little bit of, honestly, folks, Mike and I went down to Caney Creek, and the water was still muddy in the creek, so I convinced him to let me go in there and throw my rattle trap for a few minutes, and caught 2 or 3 small fish, hooked 2 good fish, and let them pull off, Mike.
Yes.
You know, but what was going on there? The creek itself was muddy, but right back in the very back of the little pockets there, it was cleared up, Mike.
Cleared up too.
And where they were drawing the water back down, it had cleared up, and there was some good fish in there feeding on some minnows. So anyway, we're kind of rushed for time. Right quick announcement, the East Tennessee Sportsman's Association's next meeting will be January the 19th, I believe. I mentioned that last week. It's the 3rd Tuesday of January. Get back to normal after the holidays, if there is a normal, and but regular scheduled meetings anyway. And I want to make an announcement. I will be at Citizens First Bank in Wartburg tomorrow from 12 to 3. and I'm going to be doing the same thing there that I've done the other 2, 3 places I've been. You know, we're going to draw for some shirts, or register to win some shirts. And so if you're listening and out that way tomorrow, I'd sure like for you to stop in, say hello, and sign up. All I need is your name, your phone number, and what size shirt you'd like. And hopefully I can, if you get drawed out of the bucket next Thursday night, why you'll be one of the winners. And we're trying to do that. Every 4 or 5 people that register, that's how many goes in the bucket. So that's a shirt. And then another 4 or 5, that's another shirt. So, the more we get, the more shirts we give away. We love doing that. Tickled to death we're able to do it, and thank goodness to my sponsors that there's a little bit of money left over time I pay the bills that we can buy shirts and advertise for the show. So, but do that. If you're out that way tomorrow, be there between 12 and 3, and right there in front of the bank, just look for us and get your name in the hat for the free shirt. We're going to go to fishing reports. Herschel's got 3 pictures he's going to show us, and right there is George Cox, 2 big smallmouth out off the Dale Hollow, and I want to thank George for that. And Herschel, what's the next one you got? There, it's Bobby Gamble on Chickamauga. I think that was 11-something largemouth he caught right before Thanksgiving. And then there's Albert King, and he's got some crappie there. He caught, I guess, today, didn't he, Herschel? Out at Little Emery. So he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Looks like he done about maybe 9 as good as we did, Mike.
Yes, sir.
All right. Want to thank them for that. We're going to put them in the photos of the month. And let me catch this call here. Hello, caller.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, Willie. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good.
Hey, I just wanted to let you know that we're having our Christmas, East Tennessee Sportsman Association is having our Christmas dinner next Tuesday night at the Roane County Park from 6 till 9.
Okay, Willie, just a second now. I'm going to make a note of this. Christmas dinner from the East Tennessee Sportsman Association at Roane County Park. 8 to, what time did you say?
From 6 till 9.
6 till 9?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's when again?
Next Tuesday night.
Next
15th.
Tuesday night. Okay, man. Heck, Willie, that's all right. Can me and Mike show up?
Yeah.
What we gonna have to eat, Willie?
Yeah. What we're going to do is try to get each member that's coming to bring a dish and a dessert.
Okay.
And a drink. And the East Tennessee Sportsman is going to furnish the meat.
Okay. Sounds like a good covered dish.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And you were talking about them jigs a while ago. I watched a video a couple of weeks ago of a new jig that they've got out that they run the line through a 4-foot chain link fence. They pull that jig from the bottom to the top, and it never hung.
Gee whiz, buddy, I need to get them for Mike really bad, Willie. Where do I get them at?
It's called a NU jigs.
NU jigs. Okay.
That's the one without the hook, ain't it?
No, it's got the hook, but it's got 2 weed guards instead of 1.
Yeah.
And it's got bells on the bottom of the jig. This guy says he's worked on it for 4 years. They're expensive. I think for a half ounce, it's $5.95 for a jig.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't hang.
I heard that. For that kind of money, I'd want some kind of guarantee about catching fish on them.
Well, he showed it, and he showed a regular jig, and when he pulled it across the bottom, it was laying on its side.
Right.
With this jig, it stands up straight.
Huh. Because of that perfectly tuned head he's got.
Right.
Okay. That makes sense.
And he said that when you catch a fish, the reason you miss so many fish on a jig is because it is turned sideways and it hangs them in the tender part of their mouth, in the side of the jaw.
Uh-huh.
Where every one he caught was right in the top of the mouth.
Well.
In the hard part.
Yeah.
So that's something to look into.
Well, man, I appreciate that tip, Willie. I wrote that down. I'm going to look that up, see if I can't get Mike a couple of them.
I hear you. I think the 3/16 is $3.95 and the half ounce is $5.95. They're expensive, but if you don't hang them up and lose them, you don't need but a couple of them.
That's true. That's true, Willie. And if it helps on that hookup ratio, man, we've missed a lot of fish this year. Pulling off and this kind of thing, ain't we, Mike?
No, man.
Yeah, get them halfway up to the boat and he's gone, you know. And they just, so I'm going to definitely check into it, Willie. I appreciate that.
Okay. All righty. Well, we'll see you next Tuesday night.
All right, Willie. I appreciate that too. Hope to be there.
All right. Y'all have a good night.
Okay, Willie. Thank you, buddy.
All right.
All right. Okay, folks, you heard that. Bring a covered dish and a drink, and they're going to supply the meats there at the Roane County Park next Tuesday night from 6 to 9. Good deal. Appreciate that. We're moving right along. I want to give you an update. Last week I mentioned, Bill, I know you're listening, the Billy Westmoreland Tournament, 33rd Annual Memorial Tournament there on Dale Hollow. From what I found out just a few minutes ago, 6 pounds won the tournament. So, you know, you say, well, that ain't a whole lot. No, it's not a whole lot. But when you're dealing with a slot limit and basically 4 fish to the boat, Mike, is all you're allowed. If you and your partner, you can catch, each one of you can have one smallmouth over 21 and one under the slot between 12 and 16. So 4 fish is all you can have. And then the thing about it down there this year, it was reported to me that they had fog delays both mornings, so you don't have that early morning bite.
How many was caught that was over 21?
May
not have been none.
It don't sound like there was any.
Yeah, that's what it sounds to me like, too.
Yeah, so, and George, them 2 fish he had there on that picture, both of them was over 21 inches, and they caught one, you know, several during the week of his fishing down there last week. So, you know, one day, like he told me, they called me, text me at 10 o'clock, and they already had 17 in the boat.
Man.
Next day at 10 o'clock, they didn't have but 2.
Yeah, well, they was using live minnows, and these tournament guys wouldn't use them.
No, that's true, Mike. Exactly right. But George has been live bait fishing, and that's what they caught a lot of their fish on. Right now, that's kind of what he does down there. But now you know these tournament guys. There's no basically the rules said there's no live bait, and they wouldn't even let you use the Alabama rig.
Yes.
It's strictly smallmouth fishing, the old style.
Yeah.
You know. So that's what we get into. Right quick, Chickamauga Heartland Anglers. They're at December the 12th. They'll be down at Chickamauga at Harrison Bay, and then you move over to Milton Hill. At Carbide Park, December the 19th. That's safe light to 3 p.m. Wattsbar Caney Creek, safe light to 3 p.m. on December the 12th. And then Point 19, they fished up there this past weekend, and I think 19 pounds something. Mike was first, 18 second, and 16 maybe third. So they are catching some fish on Norris in the daytime. Even though we're not, they are.
Yeah.
So you know about that. Then let's see. So a lot that was that's the tournament schedule for the rest of this month. I went back, tried to pull up some more, and they hadn't been posted yet. So if you guys know of tournaments that you know what's going on, give me a shout. We'll definitely pass it along to the viewers here in case somebody wants to fish one or what have you. Herschel, what do you want to do? You want to show the blooper film? All right, listen, folks, here's what's going to happen. Me and Mike's going to say good night to you and see you next week, and God bless. Herschel's going to show that blooper film, and I'm going to go in there where I can watch about 5 minutes of it. So carry on, Herschel. See y'all next week.
All right, folks, Steve, he finally found a big old crappie there. That's a nice one, Steve.
Yeah, that's good in there, Mike. We'll take that in there.
Yeah, he's about 15 foot deep here in this brush. All right. We'll stay after him. Yeah. Steve's got something here. I don't know what it is.
I don't know either, Mike. It's pull and drag. I don't know if you can.
All right, folks, Steve, he finally found a big old crappie there. That's a nice one, Steve.
Yeah, that's good in there, Mike. We'll take that in there.
Yeah, he's about 15 foot deep here in this brush. All right. We'll stay after him. Yeah. Steve's got something here. I don't know what it is.
I don't know either, Mike. It's pull and drag. I don't know if you can or it's probably the biggest.
Down into my line now.
Oh, that right there's what it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, he come off.
One of them baby stripes.
Yeah, okay. All right, folks. Steve finally throwed out there and got hooked up with, looked like a rockfish. Yeah, beating and trashing out here in these minnows. Oh, a big stripe.
Big old white stripe.
Yeah, big old stripes. Yeah.
Sure is.
He thought it was a rockfish, but a big old stripe. Yes, sir. Some nice ones there.
Where's your needle over
That's kind of throw a hook in you. Leave that lid up there till I got it. He wouldn't. Quite prepared for that one, was he?
No, I wasn't, Mike.
He's still right there behind you.
Like a lot of them break the water right.
Yeah. That's what it looks to me like, too. Step out of the way here. He might hook into another in there in a minute. Oh, shoot. There was a big one down there. I believe that was a rockfish, though.
I know there's a bunch more of them out there, but they ought to be getting that thing every day.
Okay. I guess we'll save that film for later.
Yep.
All right, Steve's got Sherry another rockfish here.
No, he ain't big enough to be a keeper, Mike.
He ain't big enough to be a keeper, huh?
No.
Well, okay.
It's just mean.
Just a mean little old devil, huh?
Yeah. Keep fishing, I'll get him off.
All right, go ahead. Claws is laying there on the floor.
Yeah, got him.
Okay.
All right. And Mike's got another little keeper crappie there, folks.
Yeah.
He ain't as big as them big ones you've been getting, Mike, but he'll do.
Yep. About 10, 11 inches.
All right. Yeah, Mike. Now that's the kind you're looking for right there.
Yeah.
That's a dandy. Show real. That's a good.
Little bitty minnows.
A little bitty minnow. Littlest minnow you had in the box. There you go. All right, Mike's got another keeper crappie there, folks. Better get him off there, Mike, right quick. Getting late on you.
Sure is.
Okay, let's get at it. I don't know, Mike. I'm pretty sure what it is. I don't think he's that big.
Well, I don't know either.
I mean, I wish you looked at what a white stripe buddy, that's a dandy.
You gonna have to start eating them dudes. Looks to me like.
Yeah, looks like we are. Okay, Mike.
He's like them crappie. He's definitely big enough to eat.
Yeah. Well,
Turns her back around here, folks. He's got us running all over the dang lake.
yeah, you got your line tangled up in mine here some way, somehow.
Yeah, grab him.